Good morning. Welcome everyone to the swearing-in ceremony for our new Chief of Police, Karl Oakman. I want to thank you for everyone for turning out. Appreciate Mayor Alvey being here and many of our local commissioners. Our DA, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have everyone with us. You know, today really marks the end of a process of going through a lot of community meetings, events, interactions, and a transition time for preparation to come over. And now the beginning of our new chief to come in and start his process and run his procedures and new leadership in our community. So with that, I'm going to recognize Brett Deichler, our county clerk, to come in and do the swearing-in ceremony. Brett?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you, Doug. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Karl A. Oakman, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and statutes of the state of Kansas, and the ordinances and resolutions of the Unified Government of Wyandotte County, Kansas City, Kansas, and will to the best of my ability perform the duties of Chief of Police. So help me God. Congratulations, sir.
Chief Karl Oakman.
Well, once again, I just want to thank everyone for their support, and I look forward to working with each of you in the community as well as the members of the department. I think it's about a little after 9, and I know after this I'll be ready to work and rolling up my sleeves and put in a full days of work today. But like I said, just want to thank everyone. This is a very important honor for me, not just as Chief of Police, but to return home to a city that raised me and kept me safe in this community. So I look forward to it, and just once again, thank you to everyone. There's so many people I couldn't name you, so I just want to say thank you for everyone who's here and felt the time to come. Thank you.
It's a brief ceremony, but that is by no means reflective of how important of a ceremony this is. So we have members of the media here today with us, and as we said, Chief Oakman has a very busy day, but we want to open up the opportunity if any members of the media have questions that they'd like to pose briefly to Chief on his first day. He will engage those right now before we retire to refreshments. Make you work a little bit on this first day.
Chief Oakman, what's, you mentioned rolling up your sleeves and getting to work. What's number one on the to-do list today?
Well, I think the number one thing is listen. And then the second thing I'm going to do today is meet with the senior command staff and then start scheduling meetings to meet with all the members of the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department.
And listening, why is that such a key component of what you need to do?
Because one, you have to listen to understand what the agency is doing well, and then what challenges that the agency is facing, and then to work with all members of the agency to work on those solutions to improve those challenges.
What would you say is the biggest challenge that the department is facing right now, and how do you plan to address that?
Well, I think the biggest challenge that, and it's not unique to Kansas City, Kansas, I think is the perception of the community perception. I think that we could always, even when we do the best job, we can always do better to work on that perception. Because someone's perception is their reality. So we have to do, and one thing I know that from a police department standpoint, we need to spend a lot more time explaining to the community the things that we do well, and then get community input and feedback to help us address the challenges.
Chief, how hands-on are you going to be when it comes to working in the community? Our neighborhood leaders, are you going to be meeting with them anytime soon? And I know that's important to people in these neighborhoods to actually get to talk to the chief.
Yes. My 29 years in law enforcement, I've always been hands-on in the community, as well as working with my staff to do what I can to improve not only the community, but also career development for the members of law enforcement that I work with or who work for me.
And you recognize that a lot of people think it's significant that you are an African American in the lead role. Is that what sort of responsibility weighs on your shoulders in that regard?
Well, I think I've went through my whole career, and I think if you focus on things that make you different from others, you'll never get anything accomplished. So what I always do is focus on what I can do, what experience, what information I can bring to improve the quality of life of the community as a whole, regardless of your socioeconomic status, your race, your gender. As a police chief, I'm the police chief for all members of the Kansas City, Kansas community.
Chief, can you talk a little bit about coming up in KCK? I know you mentioned it in your interview, and you mentioned it a bit today, but can you talk about growing up here and now becoming chief?
Well, I knew I was going to get asked a question that would put tears in my eyes. It's so important growing up in Kansas City, Kansas. And there's a couple people here that actually helped me through that transition, losing my family early, my mother and father. You know, I have my cousin here, my sister-in-law, who's like my sister, that really helped raise and shape me. And that was really important. And I think the most important thing about it is that I understand Kansas City, Kansas. I understand what some people may be going through. So when you have personal experience, you're able to come up with better solutions to help all that's involved. So, at the time it was tough, but it served me well throughout my life to make better decisions and to show empathy and understand how law enforcement plays a valuable role in the development of individuals' lives. Oh, that was easy. Thank you.
That concludes our ceremony for today. I do invite everybody who has come to stay. We're going to have refreshments behind the dark curtain there. We'll let our media friends walk out first in order to create some space. And I just want to thank everybody who came over, all the fine folks from KCMO who joined with us today. Appreciate that. I failed to introduce myself at the beginning of all this. I'm Nancy Chartrand. I'm a PIO and handle media relations for the police department. So to my media friends, I know you're going to want to ask more questions than you got to ask today, and there will be a time for that, so please reach out to me after this. Thank you, and everybody have